I'll be sick.
Yeah.
Gotta sit. Yeah, you good.
I can't, you can stand.
I got this.
Okay. Why don't you get a get together? I feel like everybody's too far apart.
Gotcha.
Cuddle in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They come.
I have good odds, so I'm good with it.
Oh, you got good at
2020.
Is it?
Beth.
So we pray. Father God, I just want to say, Lord, thank you so much, Father, for just bringing us all here safe and sound, Father. Lord, we don't want to take this time for granted, Father God. May every heart here, Lord God, be open, Lord God, to hear from you, Father God, and it may not just be about us, Father God, just take your eyes off of us, Lord, and just we're all here to focus on you, Father God, and just to speak to our hearts, Lord God. So let it all be for your glory, Father God, and your honor, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. In Jesus' name, amen. Awesome. Anybody got Bibles with you? I got Bibles. So, here. See, that's why I can't prepare for my swords. There you go.
I have one here too, if anybody wants an extra one. Bible apps.
I got Bible apps. Good.
You want to start?
You got you, bro.
You sit on Mark.
He looked at us. I don't know, man. The Mark is pretty big on his own, man.
All right, people. How can I start? First things first, man. I'm gonna be real honest today with y'all in some areas of my life, but also just I'm not making it really about me because I'm not trying to focus too much about me and just what I'm saying. But lately, the last couple months and just throughout the whole year, a lot of times I don't know, we could all agree, we all wear masks at times, or we compromise a lot of times, and sometimes a lot of us play the role, like, if you're righteous or, you know what I'm saying, and some of us walk around with our coffee mugs, it looks nice on the outside, but the inside is still a lot of things in there that's you're not dealing with or it's secret, you know what I mean? I don't need to go all in detail as far as like the men, but yeah, I know what I'm talking about. But in an aspect, it just, really the difference, I was really want to say, from being real and humble compared to not being a hypocrite and prideful, you know what I mean? And just kind of catch, where we're at. And I've been struggling with that a lot too. And even at times when I'm here, at the podium or whether I'm doing my thing in basketball and doing my other thing, I try to, I think I have all the answers. I play the role like, I got it all together, and sometimes I cover it up because I don't want people to see my sin or my flaws. And, so at times, that's not how God wants me to be. He wants me to be, honest and real and transparent. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, keep your cup clean. How to keep your cup clean. A lot of us, you know how we go to the dishes and we take a cup and we only wash like the top of it and we don't really rinse it out. We just put it away. You know what I mean? I think it's a guy thing. Sorry.
No, it's not a guy.
But we need a full rinse. You know what I mean? A full rinse. Full cleanup. You know what I mean? Real talk. And so, basically, how to keep your cup clean and full of fruitfulness, because we all want to be fruitful, right? I want to be fruitful. I think at times I think that I'm being fruitful, but is it according to His will though, or I'm doing it my will? Like my will. You know, I gotta catch myself, and kind of that's why I want to bring this up, because I feel like at times we're so caught up with doing our will and not His will, and you know, and we need to know where we're at. And at times we get to act really hypocritical, and you know, and we're not humble. There's no, we're not leading by the Spirit at all. So, if we could turn to Luke chapter 11, verse 37.
I could
Read.
share,
37.
I don't know where.
Luke 11.
Luke chapter 11, verse 37 through 42. You want to read? Just let me know when you're there. I can read.
I can read.
Okay, Jessica.
Luke, so 11:37, and as he spoke, a certain Pharisee asked him to dine with him. So he went in and sat down to eat. When the Pharisee saw it, he marveled that he had not first washed before dinner. Then the Lord said to him, Now you Pharisees make the outside of the cup and dish clean, but your inward part is full of greed and wickedness. Foolish ones, did not he who made the outside make the inside also? But rather give alms of such things as you have, and indeed all things are clean to you. Oh, this is it. Okay. So you keep on going?
To 42.
So 42, yeah.
Okay, but woe to you Pharisees, for you tithe mint and rue, and all manners of herbs, and pass by justice and the love of God. These you ought to have done without leaving the others undone.
Amen.
Amen.
So that one really just, a lot spoke to me with that. And to put a side note, on 1 John 2:16 also talks about hypocrites.
We just follow.
And
I just follow.
so, what are, I'm going to say, there's 4 ways, to keep your cup unclean. And one way is wearing a mask, you know what I'm saying, and being a hypocrite. And in Luke 12, 1 through 4, just go back, it's not that far. As you go next chapter, it says, and this is what Frank's been teaching this whole month, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. And for there is nothing covered that will not be revealed, nor hidden that will not be known. So, we can't hide from God. We can't hide, you know what I mean? And we shouldn't be hiding from each other, you know what I mean? Things that we, men with the men, women with the women, but like, you know what I mean? Like, with our brothers and sisters, be honest with each other, you know what I'm saying? What we're going through. And that's one start, and it's just, don't be a hypocrite, you know what I'm saying? Take off the mask, you know what I'm saying? So don't be a Pharisee, So sometimes we could act like a Pharisee real fast. Another one, number 2, being selfish. And 12, being selfish, greedy, same thing. In Luke 12, verse 15, it says,
One second.
and he said to him, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for one's life does not consist in the abundance of the things he possesses. It's all about us all the time. And I feel, even for me, I've done that plenty of times. I feel like I'm so concerned about, how I look and me, and I forget about, I'm greedy, I'm being greedy, you know what I'm saying? I don't realize the things that I'm doing. And sometimes I can even do it even in front of my own brothers and sisters at times, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to help them, or I don't want to really, take care of them, or see their problems, or like, because I'm so concerned about me all the time. It's just like, I'm selfish, that's another one. Number 3, which is the killer one, I think, being prideful. And that's the big one for me. And if someone wants to read Psalm 73, verse 6. And then someone could also go to Proverbs 29:23, where it says about pride. And we all know we're pride, the devil is prideful. He said he wanted to ascend, to be like the Most High, and at times our pride gets the best of us. And once we realize we're getting too prideful,
Is Psalm 73:6?
it's Psalm 73:6.
Proverbs?
And then Proverbs 29:23. Yeah.
I'll read Psalms.
Go ahead, Mr.
Therefore, pride is their necklace, violence covers them as a garment.
We wear it like a necklace. You know? We flossing, you know, we're doing this, and I'm playing the role like I got it, like, oh, look at Chris, he's so, he got it all together, you know, and he sees, man, he's not fresh. And I'm like, no, that's not, I don't want to be looked upon like that. And we get like that, you know what I'm saying? And so, pride, you know, I mean, God, remove the pride, I mean, and God can't work in a prideful heart. We all know that. I learned that too. Can't work in a prideful heart. Like a pride. And number 4, it hit me too, not having compassion for the poor, not having compassion for the needy, you know, or for your fellow man, you know what I'm saying? And that was in Luke 10, Luke 10, chapter 10, verse 30 through 36. I was reading upon that. Luke 10, yeah, Luke 10, verse 30 through 36. What does that say?
Then Jesus answered and said, a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and fell among thieves, who stripped him of his clothing, wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead. Now by chance a certain priest came down that road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. Likewise a Levite, when he arrived at the place, came and looked, and passed by on the other side. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion. So he went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine, and he set him on his own animal, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. On the next day when he departed, he took out 2 denarii, gave them to the innkeeper, and said to him, take care of him, and whatever more you spend, when I come again I will repay you. So which of these 3 do you think was neighbor to him who fell among the thieves? And he said, he who showed mercy on him. Then Jesus said to him, go and do likewise.
Amen. That is powerful.
That's powerful.
And a little just example, literally on my way home this morning, I was doing errands, and just to show you my ugliness inside at times. You know, I'm in a bus, you know what I'm saying, and I'm fine minding my own business, but I see a lady struggling to get up, and I'm watching her, and my selfishness, my pride, whatever, that tells me, oh, don't help her. You know what I'm saying? This happened today. And on top of that, you know, I see a young, in the same bus, a young lady. She's coming in and she's crying. She's on the phone crying. She's literally sits next to me. You know, God puts people, you know what I'm saying, for us to do something. But when we don't act, you know, shame on me. You know, shame on, you know what I'm saying? And that story relates to that to me a lot. And like, you know, he's telling us, you know, to be the light of the world, to care, to be a good Samaritan and all that, but even I fail. So, Chris, the holy guy, ain't always guy who's always holy. So, let's keep it honest. But I pray for God to keep working on me like that, on me, to have compassion for people in times when we don't want, when it's uncomfortable. So, and then those are 4 ways, you know, to how to keep your cup clean. You know what I mean? That's one. Now. Well, what are 4 ways to keep your cup clean? You know what I mean? And 1, examine yourselves. Be transparent. And I think in Psalms 26, I was reading on that. Psalm 26, verse 2 through 4. Everybody want to read that one? Psalms 26, verse 2 through 4.
Examine me, O Lord, and prove me. Try my mind and heart. For your loving kindness is before my eyes, and I walk in your truth. I have not sat with idolaters, mortals, nor will I go in with hypocrites.
So we need to examine ourselves. There's many other passages that tell us to examine ourselves. Test ourselves if we're in the faith or not. But definitely is to examine ourselves before we start, you know, putting out like we gotta, you know, judging right away without, you know, assuming. And I love the story what Frank said a couple months ago, but it plays in my head recently where, you know, the father's trained with his 3 kids. They're crying, they're bawling, and then they tell the father, you know, control your kids. And then we judge so automatically, and then next thing you know, the father's like, I can't do nothing about it. You know, the mother just passed away. So, and see how we gotta be sensitive, you know what I'm saying? So, examine ourselves. Number 2, 2, have a repentant heart. First, 2 Corinthians 7. Yes, yeah, 2 Corinthians verse, I believe 7 through 9.
I need to close.
I need to get closer.
Yeah, speak up.
This is how it is in the house.
Wow.
Forgiveness.
2 Corinthians what?
Forgiveness.
2 Corinthians what?
2 Corinthians, what was that? Yeah, 2 Corinthians verse 7, I believe 7 through 9.
What? Chapter 1.
Chapter 7, my bad.
Oh,
Chapter
chapter
7,
7.
verse 9. There you go. My bad.
Sorry.
See, I told you to make mistakes. Anybody?
Now I rejoice, not that you were made sorry, but that your sorrow led to repentance. For you were made sorry in a godly manner, that you might suffer loss from us in nothing.
And there's another one in Psalm 51:10. I'd like to. Psalm 51:10. One of my favorite ones too.
I'll read it for the.
You want to read it, Chief? Okay.
Just one time.
Have it.
We should all have that type on our hearts. Verse 4.
Psalm 51:10.
Psalm 51:10.
Yeah.
Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me.
That passage we take lightly. We don't apply it real talk. So, man, my heart at times is so far from God. My heart at times, it's just, my cup is could be clean, unclean so many times. But yeah, I definitely. Number 3, keep your cup clean. Which is hard to admit at times, but to humble yourself. We don't want to come with humility. We don't want to humble ourselves. That's the way of, what I'm saying. And Matthew, you look at Matthew chapter 18, verse 4. Speaks of this. Matthew, what you say? 18. Can I say it loud? Want me to say it loud?
Yeah. Can y'all hear them? For real? Like, or am I going deaf?
I gotta scream at you in the crib, bro. Wake you up. Wake up.
Read verse what?
4.
Matthew 18, verse 4.
I'll read it.
Okay. All right, brother.
Whoever therefore shall humble himself as the little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven.
Praise God. Amen. So, and also you got Psalms 9, verse 12. Just in the pages, right? Just in the pages.
Can you still? Psalm 9 what?
Psalm chapter 9. Verse 12.
When he avenges blood, he remembers them. He does not forget the cry of the humble.
Never. I feel like the most time the most close I got with God is when I had to humble myself. Acknowledge that I had to humble myself. Because trust me, I had to let go of my guard. I had to stop being pride or I got all, what I'm saying? And then this is what it takes. I gotta be humble. I can't play this role. So the humbleness, yeah, just ask, ask yourself that question too. Just have you humble yourself before I'm leaving?
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say I really believe I really relate to what he said, because I feel like when you humble yourself and all your pride is completely to the side, I feel like that's when your true colors really come out the most, because you're completely unguarded and you're just yourself, and God's really truly examining the person you are, and not just like you said, the person you're being for the world. You're actually just completely yourself, and that's really a beautiful thing.
That's when he can mold us the most too.
Yes.
Because it's we're willing to okay, we finally give up, we surrender, and then he's like, okay, thank you, let me now do what I intend to do through you, so.
And the last one is, I believe we all want more of it, is obedience. And Romans 5:19 speaks of that. Romans Romans chapter 5:19. Romans
19.
5:19.
Alright. Whereas by the one man's disobedience, the many were made sinners, so by the one man's obedience, the many will be made righteous.
Amen.
Amen.
Facts. And I am one to say,
That verse.
I have that read twice.
makes you think about it, right? Because you know what I mean, like man, and obedience comes from the heart. You know what I mean? Because it's what's in our hearts. But if he's living in our hearts, if we examine ourselves, have a repentant heart, humble ourselves, we will obey. You know what I'm saying? Out of love, we will obey. And but yeah, obedience. And it's at times we feel like God can't use us, or because of all our things we did before, what we did yesterday, or we did, you know what I mean? Like, but if we just, humble ourselves, come with a repentant heart, you know what I'm saying? He'll use this broken sinner, you know what I mean, to do great, mighty things. And that's what I had to learn. Like, I wasn't trying to come here and be like, I got a great message for you, and I'm gonna nail you. You know what I'm saying? I had to humble. I had to like just be myself and just like let God be the one to do the work. Like I'm not the perfect one to put this. I'm not Charles Spurgeon. You know what I mean? But point is, it's just being obedient. You know what I mean? And also Romans. You want to check out Romans 6. Verse 16. It's a good one too. I'll read it to you guys. Romans 6:16 says, do you not know that to whom you present yourselves slaves to obey, you are that one slave whom you obey, whether of sin leading to death or of obedience leading to righteousness. So, you want to underline that one. Yeah. And I left, and it says, I left a little passage I got from a comment. I was reading through some commentaries, and it got me. It says, the way you, this is a question for all of us, the way to make sure, I guess your cup is clean or everything is clean in God's eyes, is to give freely from a heart devoted to Christ. Got it? That's one thing. And then now, the next portion of it, is being fruitful. We know how it is to have a full cup and how to have an unclean cup. Now, how can we be fruitful? With a full cup of fruitfulness. It's not just be in a closet and in 4 doors and not doing anything. It calls us to do something. But with that, by doing that, you're able to go out and be fruitful. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you are, wherever you're planted, wherever you are, that's where you bloom. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to mention this because I remember Pastor Frank mentioned it once, and it like screamed at me. Everyone's obviously in different walks in their journey, and there are times where you feel it's crazy because it's pride, and it's like you feel that you're not sinning because you're not doing anything. Like you're not going out you're not doing the things that you used to do in your old life. Like you're not drinking, and you're not like talking to guys, or there's more guys here than girls, so that doesn't really apply. But you know what I'm saying? Like you're not doing the things that you used to do, and because you're not, and you're living this little bubble where you're just going to church and you're just going to work and you're just going to school, like you think you're like, oh, I'm not sinning. Like you start to almost boast, and that's terrible because it's like it puts you in a position where you almost and you slowly start to feel like you're gaining your salvation a little bit, and at the same time it like neutralizes us because we're like, oh, we're not sinning, so it neutralizes you, and that's exactly where the devil wants you, because you're not going to be continuing to pursue God and being like, what is it that you want me to do for your building of your kingdom? You're just kind of neutralized now. You're like, oh, I'm good, like I'm not doing anything wrong. I remember he said that once to us, and I was just like, oh, that's crazy, because I would think that I'm like, oh, well, I'm not doing anything wrong, like you know, I'm going to church on Wednesday, I go to church, and then I was like, what, wait a second, I almost sound like I'm like, you know, I'm judging myself, and then I'm like going against my, you know, I'm like arguing with myself, and I'm like, what is this? Isn't right. And then I like rebuked that, and I just thought, I'm sure if I felt that way, I'm sure other people feel that way too. And even if you don't recognize it, it's good to recognize it, because you realize that you're really being put in a place where you can't fight or build the kingdom of God.
Yeah, like I feel like doing, like if I'm doing all these things, if I'm coming Sunday, if I'm coming on Wednesday, if I'm coming here, like, yo, God looks, he's looking at me, oh, he's so happy with me, you know what I mean?
You were like religious.
Correct, and you become like a Pharisee, like a Sadducee.
Holy roller.
But we could use the word holy roller, but you know, we got holes all over us. But back to the point, and like she was saying, but we want to be fruitful, you know what I mean? And for the kingdom of God, you know what I'm saying? That's what we are, you know, we're called for. And there's, I'm gonna just say the 4 ways, you know, how to be unfruitful. You know,
Hold up. What's fruitful? Being fruitful.
Exactly. Doing unto God, building His kingdom. You know, loving others. You know what I'm saying? Serving. You know, and there's many things.
The fruits of the Spirit.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Kindness, goodness.
Pretty much for him and not for yourself.
Right.
Being fruitful, bearing good fruit. God says, you know, bearing good fruit. Like, but sometimes, again, we think like doing all these things, we're bearing good fruit, but it's not. We're not doing it according to His will. You know, we're off His will. But it's where we're also. It's like, you know, remember He sees our hearts, so He sees right through us, through all that hypocrisy and everything.
Yeah.
You feel me? So that's.
You're gonna tie into what she says, we can divine you into heaven by doing all of the works.
Yeah. And this is just ways of being unfruitful, just these 4 ways, and how I realize for me, I catch myself. You know, you focus on the earthly riches and wealth. And if you look at
the bad fruits too, impurity, slander, there are a lot of bad fruits.
Philippians 3:19. I'm gonna check that out. Check that out.
Say that one more time?
Philippians 3:19. Okay. Sure. Philippians 3:19. And if someone wants to read Luke real quick, Luke chapter 6, verse 24.
I'll grab Philippians.
I'll need those.
Who was the Philippians?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Are we good about Luke? What's the deal?
Wait.
First.
Who was the
First
person?
Philippians,
Mark?
yeah.
You want to read? Well, Mark will grab it.
What happened? You got Luke?
Yeah, he has
So you just look, I'll just,
Philippians.
he had it first. That's what
That's his first. Go ahead, BG.
Yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
BG wants to read.
19.
What's your chapter?
To what?
Philippians 3:19.
Just the first verse? Just the first?
Yeah, Philippians chapter 3, verse 19.
Alright, whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things. That's 19.
Okay. You see, read, and then Luke 6:25.
6:25.
Yeah.
6:25. Woe to you who are full, for you shall hunger. Woe to you who laugh now, for you shall mourn and weep.
When you hear the word woe, I learned that like, whoa, like catch yourself, you know what I mean? Take it seriously, you know, whoa. And I see it for myself, like I want to eat, or I want all the earth stuff. I want to feel satisfied all the time, and at times I'm not saying it's wrong, like don't eat. I'm saying like it's just becomes your priority all the time, or that your whole future. I'm not saying that you can't work and this and that, but it's just to realize where you know what I'm saying, where you're at, but also just don't be absorbed by it. Don't get so consumed by it. You know, making it everything. And if you don't have that, you're not, I guess, good. You know what I mean? Or you're not fully satisfied if you don't have this. If I don't have that car. If I don't have that New Jersey that came out. I get like that too. Like yeah, exactly. And we're too focused on the earthly. You know what I'm saying? We're too on the earthly. So that's that. And I've done that too. And pretty sure we've guilty of doing that many times. Number two, focus only on yourself and not others. Kind of like going back to Samaritan. And Isaiah 5:21. You want to read Isaiah 5:21? Isaiah, yes, right. Isaiah.
5:20,
Isaiah 5:21.
5:21.
Yeah. And then someone can get same Luke, chapter 6, but this time verse 25.
I wish these kids had me do it
Which one? A little arrow.
Luke 6:25. It's just the next verse. And Isaiah 5:21.
Well, I think I read 25 and 6 though.
It don't
I
matter.
think I did.
It don't matter.
And 24.
Well, I got
I did.
5:21.
Go ahead, Isaiah 5:21.
Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight.
So we when it's all about, we focus a lot on ourselves all the time. We forget about others, and I'm guilty. I trust me. It's all about yourself. And look, there's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself, obviously, but think about it. Like, I think we spoke about this before. Like, remember we were talking about like a me. It's about I or me. You know, like it's all about. It's like constantly. That's what we're taught, and it's like from the beginning, like I. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like I will. You know what I mean? And like me. So it's like all about me. And it's just,
Boastful.
right, and we get like that, and so we don't want to be like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be like that. So I learned I learned this way back, but it hit me because, you know, take your eyes off yourself and put it on, you know, focus on others. You know what I'm saying? At times when I was so much focused on trying to get what I'm at, like get everything for myself and my success and, you know, this and that, and try to use others instead of like, you know what I'm saying, taking my eyes off myself and helping others, being a servant. I wasn't doing that. So that's 2. 3, which I'm guilty of, and ignoring God's word, prayer, and only seeking worldly counsel. That's just, I'm the first one to be like, do I read every day? No. And do I pray every day? No, I don't pray every day. I'm guilty of it. And that's where I'm trying to get to, because I feel like that's one of the most important things is we need to not stop ignoring God's word, but get into God's word. You know what I'm saying? Get into the fellowship, prayer. Stop. You're more concerned of all the statistics and the reviews of who got drafted and this and that, or sports or whatever. I don't care what it is. You know what I'm saying? And we get so caught up with that, you know, we ignore the most precious thing, that's God's word. And I think that's why I was so quiet on Sunday, because it hit everyone. So it hit me too. But we don't get into God.